climate change threat. The world is coming to realize the very serious matter at hand, climate change. The global community started to feel the impact of this phenomenon and is realizing that not only does it affect our lives, it also stands to compromise the future of our children. The enormity of the issue and claim that there is insufficient evidence to support that climate change is human-induced or if it's actually happening and affecting us. Current status. For the first time over 20 years of UN negotiations, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, Conference of the Parties, aims to reach a binding universal agreement among all nations on climate. The overreaching goal of the convention is to reduce greenhouse gas emissions to limit global temperature increase to 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels. While all the parties involved agree on the necessity of a universal agreement, there is still disagreement about 1. How to differentiate at various developmental stages, 2. The weight of adaptation in the agreement, and 3. The controllability and binding nature of national contributions. The countries gathered.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Chair, I'm proud to be here representing Canada in these important negotiations towards a new, more effective international climate change agreement.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Council, it's the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia's utmost honor and pleasure to be represented in this esteemed council. That should be hopefully succeeded,
Russia will chase a shade من شيء جوهري, which means listen more and talk less. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
America has been involved and participated actively in the negotiations to reach an agreed outcome that takes into account the interests of all parties and in particular our developing parties. In a framework of fairness, balance and comprehensiveness contributing to positive growth of the global economy. We would like to confirm our commitment to shoulder our fair share in addressing.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Honorable Council. Moreover, to stress on the idea that India is pro-CBTR, meaning India's first action is to shift subsidies from fossil fuel to renewable energy. And with that, I come to you with India's solar program. With about 300 clear sunny days in a year, India's theoretical solar power reception on only its land area is about 5,000 trillion kilowatt hours per year. The daily average solar energy incident over India ranges from 4 to 7 kilowatts per hour.
Yesterday does acknowledge historical responsibility as a word. But it binds you to nothing, and it forces you to pay zero amount of dollars, it binds you to zero amount of mitigation. بس الفكرة إن هو حاجة زي ما مريم قالت، حاجة أدبية لازم هنعترف بيها.
We should concentrate more on the means of implementation and start presenting more points, such as sending committees that will monitor everything and highly specialized في الحاجات دي, and start seeing mitigation and the adaptation, especially the adaptation for developing countries and how well the developed assist the developing. I think these points should be really highly negotiated.
Entire council, but how about instead of this, EU doesn't want it at all, other people want to put it as the whole basis of the entire, this is not going to work. Okay, but how about it has to be some kind of compromise where we're not going to reach something. It's just that.
I have a very different point خالص. I have a suggestion ان احنا نعمل حاجة. ان احنا هناخد الهيستوريكال responsibility وهتفضل كل سنة، يعني احنا كل سنة في COP او في المفروض like this مش قصدي simulation، قصدي الريد كونفرنس كل سنه، تمام؟ in each year بيحصل emissions من كل country. it will be added للhistorical responsibility بتاعتهم كل سنه، وكل سنه يتعدل مش البنالتيز بس توزيع responsibility يتعاد توزيعه على الresponsibility الجديده اللي اتعدل. ليه بقى؟ لان after each year for example مثلا برازيل احنا starting next year the emissions will be decreased. فاحنا كل سنه من حقنا ان احنا الريسبونسبيلتي بتاعتنا بتقل. وسيم applies for developing countries زي I think Ethiopia برضه they will be decreasing أو stabilizing at least.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. What was just mentioned by the delegate, my teammate in the delegation of Venezuela, is a pure and honest stance of the Bolivian Republic of Venezuela. We are willing to compromise. We are willing to actually care about the planet, and we are willing to save our environment, and we're finally willing to change the system. But the United States of America aren't willing to change some of their policies to guarantee the human race survival. What we witness today is another deliberate and intentional attempt to sabotage any proper solution. They say ignorance is a bliss, when the United States is using the pretext of ignorance to justify their enormous amount of historical emissions. As long as our northern neighbors don't drop their imperialist and capitalistic ideology, we will never reach an agreement. We should consider allocating our budget in space research for other planets because today, USA condemns planet Earth with a death penalty. This is not Paris 2015, welcome back to Copenhagen 2009. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Most definitely, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair of the Council, the European Union would like to choose option B followed by option C in order to be in compliance with the whole Council. Option B is the best in our point of view because it calls for urgent action amongst all parties.
Chair, the delegation of Senegal would prefer option A followed by option B, mainly because option A mentioned the stark responsibility and common responsibility upon responsibilities, which would benefit the delegation of Senegal widely.
Delegations for this option, please raise your placards high and keep them high. In accordance with the principles of the Convention as set out in its Article 3, including in particular that parties should protect the climate system for the benefit of present and future generations of humankind on the basis of equity and in accordance with historical responsibility and common but differentiated responsibility. Delegations against this option, please raise your placards high and keep them high. This option against this clause, raise your placards high and keep them high. This clause, can you repeat? Point of order. Honorable Delegate, what's your point?
The delegation of Russia would like to adjourn the meeting.
That's an order. Honorable Council, there's a motion on the floor to adjourn the meeting for next year.